Hey, it's Jay, and while I usually post covers here on YouTube, I decided to do something different. Here's my March plan with me. Obviously, for a plan with me, you need to see my planners, and I don't use the most traditional bullet journal method, and this isn't a Starbucks planner. This is a travel organizer I got as a gift from my family in the Philippines that I use kind of like a book cover around the two notebooks I use as a planner. Inside of it, I keep my planners, a pen, sticky notes, and my business cards. My main planner is this navy blue one. This is the Days Desk Undated Planner by Pelpic. I got it 7 months ago from an online store. Absolutely love it, and I've already customized it and fit it to my liking. In the front of this planner, there are 12 monthly spreads, which I've already filled in. The biggest portion of this planner is its undated weekly spreads, and I've already dated these when I first got it, and I've also added in my basic planner needs, like writing in birthdays and appointments, and this sounds really weird to now admit online, I track what I drink in a day, and those are those circles that you see at the bottom of each day in this week. And each of those bubbles represent a cup, and I will color in a circle depending on what I drink. So if I drink tea, I'll color in a circle green. If I drink water, I'll color it in blue. I also track how much steps I walk in a day to see how active I am. As I mentioned, this planner came completely blank, and each weekly spread now has been dated and has my steps and drink tracker. To me, this is a blank weekly spread, despite already being filled in, and I will flip over quickly to show you an example of a completed weekly spread. Warning now, I really like haiku, so be prepared to see a lot of different haiku cutouts in this plan with me, and potentially future plan with me's, maybe a full haiku monthly spread in the future. Who knows? I started watching Land vs. Sky this week, and so I was very inspired. I also caused by Canva. Might also do a video on that. The third section of this planner are blank pages. One half of this section are these lines pages that I use to write my monthly goals in replacement of a cover page, and the other half is this grid paper that I use to track my habits. Overall, this undated planner is my monthly and weekly planning, as well as my habit tracking. The next notebook that I use as a planner is this one. This is a Muji notebook that I actually don't know the size of, and it's lined at first glance, but it actually has these faint dots going vertically, making it a grid. This is more of a traditional bullet journal in a sense. In this notebook, I plan out things like goals, budgets, and my schedule for the day when I won't fit into my navy planner. And yes, you will see Eraserhead giving you a thumbs up and Atashi sparkling. Maybe the warning I gave in the beginning shouldn't have just been about haiku, but anything fandom related. Basically, this notebook is for anything that doesn't fit into my undated planner. I've used the system for a while and I really like it, but may fully transfer over to a bullet journal in the near future. Let's start with my navy planner, and I like sketching out my ideas or spreads beforehand, which you're definitely going to notice in this video. I also don't have a specific theme that I stick to each month. My spreads tend to be based around events, how I'm feeling, the shows that I'm watching, music that I'm listening to. You can kind of see that on the February side that's peeking out with the Sailor Moon and the BTS figurine on the side, but I definitely stick to a color theme, and for March I'll be sticking to greens and accents of leaves and plants. So for this cover page / goal page, I drew these potted plants and wrote my goals in the pots. Cue triple time in 3, 2, 1. In terms of the pens, markers, writing accessories that I use to make my spreads, it's a bit of a mix. Might do a video on my collection. Tell me if you're interested in the comments below. Here I'm just writing the words March goals and then bracketing it in these cute little leaf brackets to emphasize that it's the title. And please ignore my long sleeve that keeps popping into this video. I've learned not to wear long sleeves anymore, but I live in Canada It is the middle of winter. Sorry.
Long nights alone.
As I started outlining the pots for the plants for this goals page, I noticed that Cookie from my February goals page is staring at you from the corner of this video, and so for extra measure I covered him with the Muji notebook and also zoomed in a bit closer so you can see in detail what I'm doing for this goals page.
Somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that.
To color in the plants, I used two of my Holy Grail planner products, the Zebra Mild Liners and the Staedtler Fine Liners.
Tell me, what do you feel? Is it something inside of you that wants to be free? I said, we are young and afraid, but life is unpredictable. Can you be the one that takes me to dinner and wine and kisses me every night?
To write out my goals, I'm using the 0.38 Muji gel pen in black. To my fellow left-handed bullet journals out there who struggle with leaving smudges everywhere, I find that the thinner the nib is, the less smudging, so this is why this 0.38 is one of my favorites. And with a snap, it's colored. Now I'm just erasing off any of the pencil that was left on the page beforehand and adding in some fun doodles to make these pots more interesting. And no goals page is complete without a motivational quote, and I'm gluing one in. The mat you see I used to protect my desk from hot glue and crafter's tape. And yes, the crafter's tape did break that quote. I fixed it by extending the petal over the rip, and I think it works. Overall, that is my completed March goals page. Next are my habit trackers. I tend to do them like this, which is a graph, and then I cross off each day I complete a habit. But for March, I thought I'd do something new, which you'll see shortly. First, I have to do my weekly habit tracker. And this list is things that I need to get done regularly, but they don't necessarily need me to do daily, such as cleaning my room, doing the laundry, putting in my hours for work, things like that. Because I don't have a lot of grid pages in this planner, I put 2 months worth of weekly habit trackers on one page and kind of tie in the themes of both. So for March, I took pink and red markers to make the leaf brackets, I don't know the right term, to tie in with my February theme. And then to complement the pink and gold washi tape that I put down a green and gold washi tape. Since I had extra space at the bottom of this spread, I put down a green polka dot washi tape and this really cute dog sticker that I got from Miniso to complete my March weekly habit tracker. For my daily habit tracker, I decided to do something a little different, and I'm actually going to be using these stamps. I see this a lot on YouTube videos for habit trackers, and so I'm going to be highlighting in or highlighting off each day that I complete my habits. As you've seen on the last two spreads, I'm just drawing in those leaves and writing the words March to indicate the title. Also, if anyone has tips on how to use these stamps properly, please leave them in the comments below. To do this stamp on the first attempt, I used a calligraphy brush pen that I had and just kind of stroked over each of the lines of the stamps, which I don't know is the most effective way, but I'm always happy and open to feedback and to hear what your hacks are on how to use stamps. So, editing Jay here, before someone leaves a comment being like, oh, stamp pads, I do know that stamp pads exist. I just meant in terms of a large stamp sheet like this. I've seen people use markers before to stamp things down, and as you can see, it does work, but it was kind of faded in certain parts, so I might not have put enough ink over, and so now I'm just writing in and filling in the blanks with my Muji pen. And I just attempted a lot of different markers to try this, but if anyone has a go-to marker or if there are specific stamp markers to use, then please help your girl out.
Long nights alone, sleeping by myself with no one to hold. And I think, don't you worry my friend, you've got time. But right now I think I need someone who takes me to dinner and wine and kisses me every night. I just want somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that. I just want somebody to love me like that.
And with that last stamp, my March daily habit tracker is complete. I did notice that some of the times that I stamped definitely had more ink than others, and some were a bit crooked, but for my first attempt at ever using a stamp to do a habit tracker, I am pretty satisfied with how these results turned out.
I said we are young and afraid, but life is
Watching the My Hero Academia movie with a friend this weekend, and so it definitely influenced this last spread for February. To mark off the first day of March, I took this really cute picture of Froppy from Pinterest and have her hanging off this green gold washi tape. For my weekly spreads, I tend to decorate just using images that I found on Pinterest. I keep all of them inside this holographic pouch that I got from David's Tea. And what I do is just pull out a quote and start going from there. So the quote that I pulled out actually influenced this first weekly spread of March. The quote by John Wesley says, "Do all the good that you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, in all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can." And so it kind of got me thinking about like doing good and growth, and so that influenced this spread. So I picked up a few flowers, put a caterpillar quote that said give yourself time, and had the stages of a caterpillar going into the butterfly off to one side of the page. And then I love me some Pokemon, if you couldn't tell already, big nerd. So I have all the grass starter types off to the side. I also added some washi tape and this really interesting vintage stamp sticker that I got from Miniso. And that completes this first Willy spread. I keep these spreads fairly simple just because I never know what I'm going to end up doing in a day, so I like having that extra space and that give should anything else unexpected come up. Next are the pages that I need to do in my Muji notebook, which are my budget, monthly challenge, and February reflection. My budget spreads tend to be the same each month in terms of layout. I'll write down the month, what my budget goal is for the month, so how much I'm expensing, my debit and my credit amounts, and then I'll create a row that just says description, expenses, credits in, if I charge anything to my credit card, and then the balance that I have. I could do a full blown out how to plan out your monthly budget if any of you are interested. But yeah, I keep it fairly simple. Next is my February reflections page. So this one is something I started doing this year, where I reflect on the past month in how I've grown, how I completed my monthly goals, but also how I worked towards completing my yearly goals. This one stays in the theme of last month, so the pink and red of February, and I always do this on the first day of the month, so that's why it is currently blank. Finish off this page before I do my reflection on March 1st. I just put this quote from Pinterest that says, "It's your story, babe. Feel free to hit it with a plot twist whenever you want." I also had a lot of Valentine's washi tape left, so I put this really cute red foil hearts on the top of the page, and that completes this February reflections page. The next page that I'm doing is my March challenge, which is a book challenge. I am a bookworm. I try to read 100 books a year. I don't necessarily track it each month, but I decided to do so this March just because I didn't read as much as I thought I was going to in February. So I decided to make this spread. This is inspired by one I saw on Pinterest where they tracked all the books they read by making bookshelves, and so that is exactly what I do here. I used a zebra mod liner in brown, which by the way is seriously underappreciated, and a brown Staedtler fine liner to make the shelves, and as the month goes along I'll draw various books with different colored markers to then fill in this bookshelf. I also decided to put the book that I'm currently reading as completed for March. I don't think this counts as cheating, but I'm almost done the book and March is just right around the corner, and I'll probably complete this in March or drag out the reading so I complete this on March 1st. The book is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to feel motivated or inspired. And that completes this March plan with me. But lastly, a final flip through of all the spreads that we did today. I hope you enjoyed my first ever Plan with Me video and a peek into the system that keeps me sane. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to see you in my next vlog, cover, or plan with me. Love you to the moon back. Jay.